Infinity Wars and how it's bad to spoil things for people because sometimes you haven't seen the movie. How long has it been since the movie's come out?
I honestly, because we don't know when this is coming out, I would spoil it, but it's just because there is somebody in the room that hasn't seen it.
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason why. That's why we're not going to spoil it. But you should have seen Infinity Wars by now
Already.
So he hadn't even seen it yet.
Oh no, everybody in here
everybody
seen
saw
Infinity
it.
Wars.
I was late.
You.
I told you the only thing that happened was the Power Rangers died. Super Mario shows up and he turns heel. He turns to a villain. What else happens? The Ninja Turtles come back. But yeah, once again we're here for another rendition of the show, Black and Ugly as Ever. However I stay, Houston down to my socks. I'm Carlton Banks.
I'm Devon.
Just Devon.
Just Devon.
And then we have
Rob Gullatte.
And we're here on another episode of In My Humble Opinion, because
we're humble and we have opinions.
Yeah.
Or we give humble opinions.
The opinions are humble.
The opinions are humble.
The object is humble.
The opinions, the object. Okay, that works. So we got Rob Gullatte, and we are going to go back because we're big fans of Rob Gullatte.
Yes.
Like, huge fans.
Yeah.
We're going to start off. We're going to go all the way back before, the very beginning, like where you start rapping, where you come from.
Yeah.
I'm going to start things off first by, we were working some music conference.
Yeah.
This was years ago. And you left a CD on my car.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, you get a CD at a conference, you just chunk that
throw it away.
I don't want to grab my phone from my son. I feel like I need to be recording all this.
And this happened. Like, we put it in, and we jammed that CD until it,
I know what happened to it.
Played the CD, recorded the CD on other stuff, recorded. We played this thing.
Put it on my
Time.
Xbox. It's on my Xbox 360 currently.
Yes.
And it was on my regular Xbox as well.
Except we were going by the name at that time, Critical.
2Ks, no
Critical.
Cs.
So we are gonna go all the way back because the Critical thing. It wasn't until I was recording another podcast and you happened to be there, and then you said I'm Rob Gullatte. We listened, and then I said I'll buy his music. He seemed cool, and I listened to it, and I think it was the song you did with
Jedi.
With Jedi.
Yeah.
And then I heard you say Critical. I was like, yo, this is him. And I told him.
Yeah.
And he listened to it. I was like, yo, we thought that dude stopped rapping.
We thought you stopped rapping, man. You
So-
were really good.
So, man,
It wasn't none of that. man.
let's go all the way back. Like,
It
Rob,
wasn't none of that.
where are you from, man?
Now, I was born in Texarkana, Texas. But I've been here since I was about maybe 6. The end of first grade, I got out here. And I've been out here since, 90, 91?
All right, then you moved out to, you moved out to A-Leaf, too.
Well, I mean, when I first moved to Houston, we kind of moved around a lot. I stayed in the Gulfton area, with a lot of the Hispanic people. Funny story is I had never seen a Hispanic person in my life, until I moved to Houston.
Wow.
And then we moved to Gulfton and Renwick, and I'm going to Benavidez Elementary School. And I had never seen a Hispanic person, so that was kind of a culture shock. Then we bounced around Third Ward, Sunnyside area. That's more what I'm really from, so it was cool. And then we moved to A-Leaf and settled out there when I was in roughly the end of 3rd grade, 4th grade. And we was in A-Leaf. Now, I went to other schools because I did move a lot, but for the most part, I always went to A-Leaf schools. And sorry, guys, I had to drink my water.
No.
But yeah, just mostly A-Leaf schools and Southwest HISD schools. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, I guess we're talking about when you're coming up. Who are you listening to when you're first coming up?
Man, nah. I got a very, I don't want to say eclectic, but just is wide range of rap music I was listening to outside of the other music that was played in my home. As far as rap, the first song that really struck me, man, in all honesty, was Wild Wild West. And I was probably about 3-4 years old. My auntie had bought me and my sister some 6-inch records for Christmas.
Yeah.
She had got my sister to Doing the Butt 6-inch.
Yeah.
And she got me the Wild Wild West 6-inch.
Okay.
And I was listening to it so much, man, like I wanted to do what he was doing, so I started taking his words and putting my own words in them. And then from that, I started like writing my own raps. But I was listening back then, like whatever was on the radio, you know, like LL Cool J was big at that time. I had some cousins that was big into the BDP, so I remember listening to them when I was like 5, 6 years old.
What year was this?
This had to be like 89,
Yeah.
90. This when I was still living in Texarkana.
Okay.
So like I was hearing that, and then when I moved to Houston, like the first thing I remember hearing is Mind playing tricks on me.
Yeah.
And then it was Street Military.
Yeah.
Like, you remember that? Hoes can't face Street Military.
Yeah.
So hearing that, and then like Pac and Face,
Yeah, of course.
and like then like Snoop was a big influence. Snoop was a huge influence. My rap name when I was young, like 4th, 5th grade, used to be the Atomic Dog. That was my dude, man. But my life changed, in all honesty. I can't remember the exact date, but it was April 94. A friend of mine walked to my apartment door in Timber Hollow Apartments with Illmatic, man, and changed my life. Before that, I was rapping. Like, I was young, but I had already been known, like, in my area as somebody that could rap. But it was more like the Snoop Dogg style, like, kind of like Face a little bit. I heard Nas. I was like, whoa. Like, he doing something. This sound like the books I read.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and he putting it in a way that it ain't like too, like, I'm 10 and I could hear what he's saying, but I knew he was like smarter than the average rap. So I wanted to do that. Then like the screw culture, just being like on the south side of Houston, growing up, getting fades, getting designs in your head, starts down. Even though my style was never like the coming down style, I could adapt the boys when we get into like the school flow sessions. I knew everybody wasn't rapping like I was and wasn't influenced by rap like I was, so I rap like the come down style, and I kind of put that into my element. Just far as like embracing where you from. I hated them cats that could rap but try to sound like they was from New York.
Yeah, that was an epidemic.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be the guy that was like, man, I'm a definitive Texas dude. Like, you hear it in my voice. I ain't trying to change how I sound. Nothing like that. I just could rap well. You know what I'm saying? So that was the approach I took to it. Like, was kind of like back in the Gap. I used to say I wanted to be like Lil Keke and Nas mix. You know what I'm saying? If I could find like a medium of being able to like really like rap and tell my story.
Yeah.
But still, like, you know, rep the state, rep the culture that I come from at the same time. That's what I was trying to do early on until I really, like, found my niche, so to speak, which was maybe about 15, 16. I kind of got comfortable in the fact that, and I hate this term now, but, like, that I'm, like, a lyrical dude.
I understand.
Beforehand, you know, back then it's like, man, you trying to be like you from New York or something. Nah, I ain't none of that, man. I'm in the streets, man. Like, my influences is that, though. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't deny that, so.
What made you feel comfortable at that point when you're 15, saying like, okay, I can be a lyrical rapper even though people around me might not appreciate it?
I think, like, growing up on the Southwest, like us kind of having to create our identity. Like, if somebody from like 3rd Ward or South Park or like 5th Ward or something, I'm not saying that they don't have individual identities, but those hoods, they had identities. You got to think this like 98, 99, like the Southwest still kind of a new area, you know what I'm saying? So me and my clique that I was a part of, the 40 Gators, got 2 names. It's for the Greater A-Leaf Texas Alliance. And then, like, for the people that's not from A-Leaf, we'll say for the Grimy and the Advance. So it was like, we kind of like, we was always like, even though I was the popular dude, I was always kind of awkward, you know what I'm saying, in my approach to things. So that was our thing, was we gonna rep the West, you know what I'm saying, but we gonna do it in a way that how we want to do it. We not trying to ride for swangers, and we ain't trying to come down. We sip drink and all that, but we don't have to rap about that in every song, you know what I'm saying? Like, the stuff we live, that's not what we live. Like, we don't see, like, candy paint every day. You know what I'm saying? We around murder every day. You know, it's fast paced. It's getting money. It's the stuff that the East Coast rappers be talking about, in all honesty. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we lived on the West. And I just applied that to the music. Tried to be more, like, quick with it, man, sharp. And then I was battle rapping, to answer y'all question, being, like, going to different schools that I didn't even go to. I could go to Dulles. Like, some of my best friends went to Dulles. Some went to Worthing. I come to Westbury, of course, A-Leaf, you know what I'm saying, Hastings, Elsik, Sharpstown, anybody that said they had some rappers there, man, like, I was coming to get your money. And that's what made me comfortable when I started realizing, like, man, I could get money off of this, you know what I'm saying? Like, just off being me, I ain't have to be Lil Flip and them. Like,
Around what time period did you start your battle rapping, though?
Really, I started battle rapping in like 5th, 6th grade, in all honesty. Maybe even before that. We used to like have rap contests at Starlight Skating Rink on Cook Road, and I would get into that. They wasn't necessarily like battles per se, but like, you know, you knew you wanted to spit your best raps, you know what I'm saying? So that kind of gave me a competitive spirit.
But when did it get strictly battle rap, stereotypical battle rap comparative? Competition.
7th and 8th grade.
7th and 8th grade.
Because we had, you know, out here in A-Leaf, it's, you know, it's a melting pot of people, man. So you might have had some cats that was from the East Coast that moved here. Some cats that was from like other countries and moved here. So their musical influences was different. And then they were like, y'all want to battle? I'm like, yeah, we'll battle. And then you'll say something, and I'm kind of naturally funny. I already rank on people. So I just was like, apply that. And then when I seen like you really supposed to like battle, like it's not a ranking thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's like, oh, it's about rapping who better, man. This what I rap about already. So I'ma just talk about like what you got on, how you can't rap better than me. So yeah, about 8th, 9th grade, man, when I got to Elsik, man, that really changed it.
All right.
Cause we at school with 7,000 people.
Yeah.
And the older cats, they knew me or whatnot, but I come in the lunch table as a freshman, and I'm eating, man. Like, and boys wasn't rapping like me back then.
Yeah, they was
to a degree, they still ain't.
I understand.
But definitely back then, not no young dude.
Nah, they was on the come down at that time.
So it was like I had a rap. I remember I spit it. I'm trying to think. It was like, hey, it's the war veteran, Purple Heart winner, the opposition thinner, heating my enemies up like last night's dinner. If you thought Prophet Ryan was gory, oh, I'm another story. Headed for war while in the midst of trying to enhance my glory. Like, I'm writing stuff like that. At, like,
what age were you when you wrote
I was
that?
in like 9th grade.
That's good.
You know
especially
what I'm saying?
at 9th grade.
Yeah, so it's like,
at the time too.
I'm like, y'all can't rap with me, man. And y'all, the dudes that maybe can, they squares, you feel me? Like, they lame. Like, nah, I got hands.
So you had that
I sell
edge.
dope, you feel me? And I could rap. So it's like, I was feeling myself.
Yeah.
I was really feeling myself by the end of high school, that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? People knew Critical for battle rapping. It was like.
At what point do you start calling yourself Critical? And why?
Somewhere around 8th, 9th grade. I can't remember the exact time. I was going through all of these names. In the hood, they call me Rob Deep. But I couldn't be Rob Deep, really. I was the Rapture for a second. It was like some real corny names. Sincere. There's some real corny names. The B-52.
B-52.
Yeah, that was my rap name for a couple weeks. And then
A couple of weeks.
I was freestyling, man. Honestly,
was Sincere from Belly?
Yeah, Sincere kind of came from Belly.
There was so
Because
many
Nas my
Sinceres.
favorite rapper, so
Yeah,
like, all right, I'm gonna be
It's like,
sincere.
okay, I got an ode to Nas.
But
all
like,
right.
nah, so I was rapping and I can't remember the words, so for the sake of convo, I'm gonna say, like I said, something like, it gets pedophile. Boys can't mess with me because I'm Critical. And I was like, oh shit, like, Critical, that's kind of tight.
You just stuck with it from there.
And then at first I was still spelling it like critical.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why I changed it to spelling it with K's. And then like around like I started going to like Just Joking Comedy Club.
Yeah.
And what's that shit? Club Rhythms.
Yeah.
And when I would like go sign my name up, I'd be like, critical, you spell it with 2 K's, no C's though. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I was literally telling people like, hey, critical with 2 K's, no C's. And then it just kind of stuck when I started recording for real. I'd be like, yeah, critical, spell it with K's, no C's, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking all that fly shit. And then that just kind of stuck. And like it's people to this day, they call me 2 Ks, no C's. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I still said that when I first talked to you.
I
said critical 2 Ks, no C's.
That's what they knew.
That line just always stuck. I was like, this dude here.
Man, I really feel like I should have my phone. I'm mad at my son right now. Can I tell him to come bring my phone, man?
Yeah, man.
Can we call for him?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Cause the world need to be hearing this type of stuff, man. He gonna be all right.
Yeah. Because he can sit down right there.
Yeah, he can come sit down, man. But
I guess, and that's not you talking about your name just evolves from the verse. I mean, who was that? Like, isn't that how Fabulous got his name? Because remember they said Fabulous was just rapping, and I think he just spelled his name, and then it was just like, oh, your name is Fabulous now. Yeah. Like, that's just it. Like, people thought the verse was cold.
Yeah, because
that was it.
And then Fabulous Sport, then FABOLOUS.
I mean, you don't have to whisper. We know he's in here. We just saw him on tape.
Oh, yeah.
This is
come here,
Rob's son.
Tape.
Rob's son. You want to say hi?
Hi.
You got what you wanted. You really wanted to be on here.
Hi.
All right.
Yeah,
you
that's
gonna
my
record
son, man.
so
yeah, hold on. Let me get this camera stuff on, man. But yeah, I mean, that's really what it was. Just coming up with names and playing around with stuff, man. And then you look up and you got a full rap name. And then people start saying it at school. And then I switched to Westside High School, and I kind of like, at Westside, it was like I was almost like a rap celebrity. You know what I'm saying? So it just went that way, man. I gotta get my boy on here. We live on the podcast. In my humble opinion, I got my boy in here with me. But yeah, man, that's really what it was. It's just constant repetition.
Yeah,
constant repetition, man. That rap that Kanye said, what he said, like yourself in the room doing 5 beats a day for 3 summers.
Yeah.
Like, I got partners that'll verify this. I used to skip like hustling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna go trap tonight, lose money or whatever. But I had the right reps. Like I was focused.
Yeah.
I was just focused.
Okay.
I knew what I wanted to do, and it kind of worked.
Yeah.
Sit down, please.
Nice cameo, Rob Jr.
Yeah, it was a good cameo. But you had to work. I mean, rapping takes a lot of work. A lot of people look at it and be like, well, it seems like a job that you really don't have to do anything for. And there are some.
There are a lot. There are a lot of people that just kind of show up and they're like, I mean, it's a different.
I mean, I said that, but they still do have to work. Whereas you could look at, like I said, there are some. I still feel like it's a select few that really don't do much. Even the ones that we think don't do much, they do a lot. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I can't really say anybody, but like
Lil Tay.
Lil Tay's not a rapper. Lil Tay's not a rapper.
I heard her mama is a realtor.
Yeah.
Yes.
And been having her in these mansions and all that, and lost her job with the company she had,
I heard
man.
that too, man. That's crazy.
Oh, the fact that people can get Instagram famous so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And you just don't know what the real, I mean, you knew. The running joke was like, who is this little girl and where are her parents?
Yeah.
But it's like, her parents are right there.
I thought she was from A-Leaf. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I mean, that's common where I'm from, man. Like, man, I know some real life gangster Vietnameses, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
real
true.
Life gangster Chinese dudes, man.
That's true.
Like,
That is so true.
And you wouldn't.
I know.
Hey, I wouldn't mess
organized.
with them.
I would not mess with them
I wouldn't mess with them at all.
I totally understand where you're coming from.
So, like, at what point do you say, all right, I'm going to do this as a living? Like, I'm going to put out an album and I'm going to just start selling.
I don't know, man. I always said that.
Okay.
It was like, it was never like a point where I wasn't trying to do that. Mm-hmm. It's a few key things that happened though, man. Like just being at TSU opened up a lot of doors in the sense like I was meeting people from different places. I started to meet different producers, so now I can kind of get some original beats. I was going through that for a while. I used to go to this spot called the Chop Shop in Dead End, and we'll rap and they'd pay you like, 3 for $10, 3 songs for $10, and you literally it's like no punching in. You got to record the whole, like your whole. If you come in like with your raps, I got to record my hook every time. It ain't no flying the hooks. You know what I'm saying? So
I heard about that spot.
Doing that, I want to say right about 18, 19, man, I was going real hard. People used to come to my house. I don't know if y'all know a cat named Derek Hawkins that when he went to Dulles.
I know Derek Hawk.
Yeah,
Big Hawk?
Big
Of
Hawk.
course I know
Big Hawk. That's my brother, man. Like,
really?
He used to come to my house. Not like my blood brother.
Yeah,
but
I know what
he
you mean.
used
Black
to come
belt.
to my house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Big Hawk.
And then he had brought one of his partners from Louisiana Tech. They was alphas up there.
Yeah.
Cat named Chris. And everybody used to come to my house to hear me rap. So long story short, like a year later, I get a call from a dude like, hey, what's up, man? What's up, Rob? Yada yada, it's Chris. I'm like, man, I don't know who this is. And he like, man, my little brother got some beats for you, and he real tight, man. He real tight. And I was like, all right, we can come get you. At first, I thought it was a setup. You know what I'm saying? Like when they was saying they was gonna come get me, cause at that time I'm active still. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure if it's legit or not. But the dude come pick me up, and the dude was young. He had been about 15, 16. So I'm like, damn, they got a Ford Explorer and shit. Who these dudes? So we get in the car, and I can say this to y'all because y'all know there's music. The first beat he played for me ended up being Grind Nigga Grind.
Okay.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's for me?
I can understand.
Oh, wow. Because I was getting beats beforehand. I had a little tape. If you hear on By Any Means, I got a song. It's Ride at All Costs.
Yeah.
It's Me and Dreams. Them songs have been recorded like a year and a half
That's
before.
why they sound different.
They sound
They
different.
sound different on a different production
Yeah,
program
they were screwed
as well.
too. The last two
Really?
I screwed them because the mixing was so bad. So I
can
tried
understand.
to make it at least sound a little better. But nah, so he gave me that, and then I got the beat for that By Any Means record, and then the On Deck song. I'm on deck.
Yeah.
Nah, respect me. And I went there. I wrote Grind Nigga Grind from Highway 6 in Bel Air to when we got the 290 out there by PV damn near. The song was wrote. And they was like, shit, you wrote that quick? Yeah, I write fast. So we went in there and knocked it out. He pulled up that On Deck beat loud. I wrote that in like 30 minutes. Knocked that out. Then I laid down the hook for By Any Means, and then I put my people on there. And then we just kept going, man. And then next thing you know, I got like 9 songs. So some people got By Any Means, and it got 9 songs. Some got it with like 15. Some got it with 16. Some got it with 12. Back then, my thought process was like, just get the songs out. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really tripping about mixing, mastering, and all that shit. I really didn't even know nothing about it. I was recording on Pro Tools in a real studio. So in my mind, I'm doing something. I was giving the songs away to people at my job when it was like 4, 5 songs and like my partners in the area, and everybody was fucking with it. Like everybody was fucking with it. So my partner and me, we started printing up CDs, like 500, 1,000 every month, and this was going on from like December 05 till like February 07 when I dropped my second project. I probably put out about 50,000 copies of By Any Means.
Yeah.
I was really like grinding, like some record deals was in my face. You couldn't told me I'd still be sitting here right here from the way I was grinding back then. Nah, I probably thinking I'd be a millionaire by now, you know what I'm saying? So it was just a journey. So like I said, it wasn't no point, man. I just got to it. Once I got the records that I knew could go, that's what kind of like, all right, I'm gonna drop a project. And I couldn't come up with a name, and then I had that song By Any Means, and then
That just became it.
Yeah, it's just what it was.
So currently, like you say, you felt like at the time you were grinding so hard that you felt like by now you should be a millionaire. So what was the disconnect from then till now?
It's a lot of things, man. I could look back on it now and be like, I didn't expand out of Houston.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We were still operating under the out the trunk kind of mentality. I didn't expand out of Houston. Number one, my feet never touched Atlanta. My feet never touched L.A. I ain't have to move to them places, but it would have been.
So what year was this again?
This was by any means 07,
07.
06.
So
Well,
at the
by any
time-
means came out in December 05.
So at that time, so you're saying from 05 to 07. So at the time, in case anybody's wondering, at the time the internet was not as prevalent as it is today. While we did have things like Napster and Kazaa and whatnot that were spreading music, it wasn't as widely known when somebody put something out. But, you know, with that being said, so you were putting out different projects from what span of time were you really heavy putting out projects?
All right, now I put out By Any Means in December 05. And I grinded that for like 2 years straight.
Yeah.
Then in January and February 07, I put out a project with a cat named DJ Young Sam.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Welcome to Real Niggerville. Now, it was more like a traditional mixtape, like I was rapping on other people's beats.
Yeah.
But it was, in some ways, that was received better in the streets because we recorded it better for one. At the time, DJ Young Sam was like, he from the North, but they was like the hottest dudes on the North. They from Trinity Garden. I don't know if y'all remember a record called Trinity Garden Drop. And like DJ Chill, I don't know if you heard him that night we was talking to him. He was kind of talking about how me and Sam used to be around him back in the day.
Yeah. He was
And
talking
like,
about that.
Like he was bringing us. We did South by Southwest. The first year Pimp Them came home. You know what I'm saying? I was on one of them shows. So like I was around. I need to find somewhere to boost this up.
So we talking about.
I'm the most unprofessional dude. I'm a parent though, man. I gotta keep my phone charged, man.
Everybody is trying to figure out how to quietly and discreetly like plug this man's phone up.
I know.
Look,
But we just like, you know,
can we
forget
just-
it.
we gonna be
Let's just
niggas,
plug the
man,
phone
for
up.
1
Let's just
second.
plug the phone up real quick.
We gonna be niggas
Like,
for 1 second. We gonna be niggas for 1 second, man.
Nah,
I don't
but
think it's 1 second.
The charger has been moving for. Oh wait, we got one over here.
Oh, okay.
That's over here. The charger has been moving slowly for like the past.
Yeah, about good,
minute
yeah.
and a half.
I mean, that's the problem with having kids nowadays, man.
I understand.
He act like he can't just parlay for a second, man. Like
I gotta plug that.
he got to
There
have.
we go.
He got to have my phone, man. And I'm like, I kind of need it right now. You know, I got to do the Instagram stuff and all that. But that stuff
for work.
is necessary.
Yeah, it
though.
is.
No, I get that.
But yeah, nah, like I say, man, it was Welcome to Real Niggerville. I grinded that. Then I started to shift from the name Critical to Crit.
That's what I
This was
want
like
to know.
08, 09.
Yeah.
It was too many cats named Critical or Critical on the internet.
Yeah.
So I'm shifting. I didn't drop no music really from like 07 to like 2010. Now I was releasing music like on CDs to like my partners in the streets. I was doing like random mixtape shit. That's what they would be called. So it was probably like 5,000-10,000 of them that's just in the streets floating around. Then we started focusing more on the internet. And I was working at the time, me and Pug Tunes was working on a project together. This like 2010. His computer crashed. We lost most of the sessions other than maybe about 5 songs. Then I had another project. I was going to drop 2 projects on one day. End up just mashing them into one, calling it Late Nights, Early Mornings. And that's like my first like digital project. And then I started getting a lot of love off that though. But Trill Hip Hop was on there. But it didn't pick up no steam like that until I started performing it. I shot a video for it. And then I dropped another album called 3 Days, but the video never came out. Then I dropped another video called The Way Things Are. Now this is when things started to really like kind of shift for me.
Yeah.
I had hit like 10,000 views in the first couple of days. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to go viral or something. Houston Press had named it like the 3rd best song of 2011. So it was like, all right, I'm starting to pick up some steam. And we was going through some stuff with the director. And we finally got that Trill Hip Hop video finished. And that's really more than anything I ever did, man. All them CDs I put out in the streets, all the battle rapping I did, that one video put me in position to make money.
And which video was that?
Trill
again?
Hip Hop.
Trill Hip Hop.
Yeah.
So you can find that on YouTube
On
right now.
YouTube, you can look it up.
Trill Hip Hop.
Trill Hip Hop.
Under Rob
Rob
Gullatte.
Gullatte.
All right. Rob
And
Gullatte.
if you hear the song,
Mhm.
I'm still going by Critical in the song.
That's crazy.
I had changed my name though right before we had finished shooting it. But it had already been done. Like you hear like somebody saying, Show Lewis talking in the beginning, he's saying with my nigga Beltway, Critical. Yeah. And at the end, I'm talking about, I say something like, it's K. Ali, they boom. Yeah, I'm saying I'm Critical in the song, but it's released as Rob Gullatte. And it's just, I hit Spin Magazine.
Really?
Yeah. I was in the article that broke Joey Badass.
Yeah.
It was us. Sometimes I wonder if my name had been on top of the list. Maybe, like, seriously,
I
because
understand.
Yeah.
like when you listen to the songs, man, that nigga song that wasn't over. I think it had more to do with he was young. He's 17. New York, you got that sound, and then you got me, this not traditional Southern sound, but it is Southern. And people ain't know how to take it. Then
This is what, 2011?
this was 2012 actually. When it hit Spin, that was South by Southwest 2012, and I was booming in a sense. I got placed in a movie. I was getting some money.
What movie?
It's called Natural Selection.
Okay.
It was a really award-winning like independent film, come out 2011-12, and it was like that was helpful.
Yeah.
Then a cat named Shay Serrano.
He worked for the Houston Press.
Yeah,
right?
he worked for the press, but Shay now he didn't.
Yeah.
Shay booming. Shay about to have I don't care. Shay about to have a show on ABC based off him.
That's
you know
good.
what I'm saying? Like,
Oh no, that'd be good. That's
Like, almost
great.
like
You
that.
heard it
See
here
the-
first,
like
because
the books and
that FOB
everything.
show, like that Fresh Off the Boat show,
Yeah.
Yeah,
they gonna
that'd
do
be
one
great.
like that about Shay.
that's awesome. Congratulations to Shay. That's awesome.
So yeah, like that. I was hitting different cities: St. Louis, New York. I'm in Phoenix, Seattle. This around the time I had dropped Abortion. That was like, I guess my real debut as Rob Gullatte.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was going pretty good, man. Like I was working. I felt like the traction was where it needed to be mentally. I was where I needed to be when I was younger. When By Any Means and stuff came out, I was kind of nigga, man, that'll jump off stage and I'll fight you. You know what I'm saying? We breaking your microphones if you telling us we can't rap long enough. Yeah, you know, I was kind of reckless, man. I don't think that I would have had success came when I was 21, 22, I might have got killed. In all honesty, man, because I was reckless.
I can understand. You can hear it in your music at
Yeah,
the time.
you listen to that shit I was saying. That ain't
Yeah.
no, you know, that wasn't just. Yeah, that's how. That's the truth, man. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
for
saying
real,
I'm
for real.
killing the time, but like that my niggas,
Yes,
like,
he'll
this-
probably do it.
Yeah,
I was
this-
like, what?
yeah,
That
like
was nice.
that's how a nigga
That's
was
my
living.
song too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my son liked that song.
Yeah. And then when the glass, when it goes silent and the glass breaks, and then you say, I forgot what
They
you
say,
said.
do I look like a hoe ass nigga?
And then it
Man,
starts
bring that
again.
motherfucking beat back. Yeah, we used
That's
to be.
an awesome song.
We used to be so wide up performing that, man. Like,
I can understand. I mean, I can understand with like, even with that, we're going back to that project. With that project, I mean, just me being a producer, I would hear I could hear how unmixed it was and how raw it was, but it sounded good. Like the bass, for that to be such a bass heavy song, you couldn't hear the bass.
yeah.
But you couldn't feel the bass. You could hear it, and I'd be like, man, if this bass could just be heavier, this song would go so hard. Because your vocals was like right on top of the beat, but they were like so expanded. It
And I
just killed
freestyled
me.
that song.
Really?
I went back and redid it, but the verses never changed. If you heard the freestyle one, you would hear that it's a freestyle.
I can understand.
I cleaned it up to make it, you know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
delivered it better. But nah, that whole song was freestyle.
So for this many, how long have you been recording and rapping? Like recording, putting out consistent music and rapping? at this
Man,
point?
we put out a tape, man. I ain't BSing you. In 93,
Uh-huh.
me and my partners.
How old were you?
I was like 9.
Yeah.
It wasn't like distributed or nothing like
I understand.
that. But we had like a little 4-track recorder.
Yeah.
And we putting tapes out in the area, like right when I was going to Leesman Elementary. You know what I'm saying? And
That's awesome.
right
But
next
still,
to Kilo.
though, professionally,
About
what, since like 2010?
I'ma say, nah.
I'm sorry, not 2005?
Yeah, I'm going to say by any means, that's my first project.
Okay.
2000. I mean, I had stuff before that, but by any means, it was the first thing that was like original.
Yeah.
I had artwork. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was, to me, that was as professional as I could get at that time.
It was professional. You did have artwork, and you were putting them out.
Yeah, so I was like 05 until now, you know what I'm saying? That's really 13 years of just shit. I'm old, man, for a rapper.
I mean, it's not even for a rapper. You're just telling your story.
Yeah.
But for 13 years, you've been putting it out, and the last project.
Trill hip. Oh, wait. I put Trill Hip Hop in there, so you can pull that up now.
The last project.
Galactic Vision.
So we're here now with Galactic Vision. So you went from Critical in 05 of being reckless, and we were talking earlier coming over here where you're like, if you're not in the club, people don't think that you're putting out music. At that time, as Critical, your music could have been played in the club.
Well, it actually, remember talking to DJ Chill, I had a record called Holding That Nine. It's the first record me and Donnie Houston did together.
Yeah.
Donnie Houston, friend of the show.
Yeah, that's my man. You know, that he was still DJ Dunn at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Chill had that whole plan and like Connections, like the biggest clubs at the time, like Captain Jack and Big Steve, them promotions. Like it was Connections, Candy Shop.
Man, I remember Candy Shop.
It was another one they used to have
was definitely 07.
And man, I remember the first time I heard my record in the club, man, I was tripping.
Yeah.
I'd heard other songs like in small strip clubs and Hole in the Walls.
I understand. The Blue Flame.
But he threw it in the middle, but apparently he had been running it for like 3-4 weeks, so I hadn't heard it.
Oh wait, before this is Trill.
Yeah, this Trill Hip Hop. That's my nephew.
I didn't want to cut you off, but yeah, let's see what you were doing at first.
This
that Bush beard.
Oh yeah, man. That's on the 9700. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh man, Corral Gables.
Yeah, that's a real A-Leaf video. Just got a bunch of random stuff. And this BLB shot this video.
Appreciate your show. Yeah. A whole lot of old niggas. You OGs. If the game played right, then there's no need.
I look at my mouth, huh?
It's a little bit like the way the YouTube thing has an upload.
Praying for a change in my actions the same. I will actually bring some needed stated plain as a flat land.
But I definitely wanted to show people like this. And what year was this? This was
2011.
2011. And before we get you to finish the story, we're gonna flip over to the latest video.
Up in the Galaxy.
And see how far you come along. Yes. All right. But we'll let them queue up in the Galaxy. But go ahead, finish what you were saying.
Man, I lost my train of thought down there, man.
Basically, you were just coming from. I mean, it just brings it all full circle of like why he's playing your videos, like, you know, from then until now, because you were just basically bringing full circle to how you're here.
I mean, like being a parent, man, is the number one difference, man. Like my son, now I got a daughter too. My daughter came along at the tail, during the process of making Galactic Vision. Yeah. So like my son, like that's more than anything, man. Like I could credit him with like just slowing me down, man. Like, all right, what's important? Being in his life or being in the streets?
Yeah.
I like being with my son, man. It was like that was cool to me. Just being with him, man, was cool. And I was going through a lot, man, like a lot. Then I started dealing with these health issues. And between having a child and the health issues, I had to slow down drastically, man. Like,
well, let's pause it right there. Let's take a look at this. This is up in the gas. So this is after the kids.
Yeah, this is after the kids.
And the resale. This is off the last project.
Yeah, it's the first release off the last project. Shout out that boy Fetty from High Rise Films. People be asking me if I shot this in New York. I'm like, nah, man, this is Houston. Hell, I had been throwing up that day, man.
You got no heart with a cardio. Ain't hearing nobody inaudible. Used to sell dope for another cup. And a heel figure and polo shirt. I'm a real nigga that know his worth. Writing so much that your shoulder hurt. For over 10 years I've been overworked. Man, I got tired, I'm only human. But people don't think it when flowing stupid. Hearing these rappers and your influence.
So,
Man,
I mean, let's talk about, you're talking about the things that started to derail you, like the health issues. What was going on?
Well, man, it was crazy, man. This really started like 2007, 8. I started throwing up randomly, but it's not like the way it is now. I go to the ER. They tell me I had gastritis, and it'll hit me like once a year around the same time. Then 2010, I was at work, and it messed my chest up. I was tripping, so they called the ambulance. And they told me I had pancreatitis, which I don't. But when you got good health insurance, they're going to treat you well, man. I say that, man. At the time, I had good health insurance. Yeah. So I was thinking I had pancreatitis for a couple years, and then in 2013, that's when it went from being like a once a year flare up thing to like April of 2013 I got sick, and it went on for like 6-7 weeks. And I was like, whoa. Then I was good. Then like September, October came, and it happened again for like 2-3 months. Then it slowed down. Then January 14 came. I was back in the hospital for like a month or so. I'm going back and forth. And I didn't know what was going on. Like anytime I feel a certain way, I just start throwing up like stomach acid. And like, shit, I can't hold nothing. I can't hold water. Nothing. So I'm going back and forth. I'm losing weight. I'm losing jobs. Like, depression setting in. I got my child. I got a family to take care of. I can't do what I need to do.
Yeah.
And some days I couldn't even hustle. Some days, so that's when it was really getting like, all right, if I'm not gonna be working, shit, I need to be hustling. But man, it was days. And I mean, if my son was in here, he'd tell you this. You know what I'm saying? I was struggling just getting him to the school bus. You know what I'm saying? And then getting him to school became like, I'm getting to school, I'm throwing up. You know what I'm saying? I'm driving, I'm throwing up out the window, getting him to school. So that became a task. Getting him from school became a task. Shit, we just didn't know what was going on. And I finally got a diagnosis, maybe about 16. It still, it still affect me, but I done got better at dealing with it. It caused anxiety real bad, so like I don't be feeling comfortable going nowhere no more. I'll say that.
Well, what was the diagnosis?
Bowel reflux.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's like basically I just pump too much stomach acid.
Really?
So like if I don't eat or have something like, like my medication right in front of me, I'm just start throwing up. And then if I ain't somewhere where I could calm my anxiety down, it's like shit, I be throwing up for 8 to 12 hours, you know what I'm saying? Like in a day. Like my son, like I be thanking God for him, man, because he know what's up. If something wrong, he know how to handle it. I've been nervous since my daughter was born because she just made 1. I'm like, shit, I can't be getting sick.
Yeah.
With a baby, is like with a 9-year-old that done experienced this his whole life, basically. Shit, man, I feel in better hands with him than anybody.
Yeah, your son is wise beyond his years. Like, tell me, you were telling me for a while you were talking about stopping, and he's the one that convinced you.
Well, yeah, it was a conversation, man. I had told him, you can come in. I wonder if he remember this. I was you can come in. I was talking to somebody on the phone about me quitting rapping, and then I remember he said something like, "You quit rapping." It was like the expression on his face, like, nigga, you can't quit rapping, nigga. Like, you a rapper. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean? Like, he don't know nothing but me
rapping
as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I didn't work. You know what I'm saying? I work whatever, but that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? That's what he know for. If anything, he told me he was showing his friends at school. He snuck on YouTube showing his friends like my dad. Like, yeah, I'm a rapper. You know what I'm saying? So between that and Cam Franklin from the Suffers was a big.
Oh, good segue, man. Pull up that clip from that. Yeah, while you talking about Cam Franklin.
We got real cool, and she was just encouraging me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got a gift, man, like rap, you know what I'm saying? How you not gonna rap? Everybody around me, rap. So it's like, shit, she booked the show.
And this is Cam Franklin singing here on one of the songs on your album, Lord Don't Like Ugly.
Yeah, she booked the show, and like, man, I'm back rapping. So I started working on this album. I had a whole album that I scratched. Like, it's like 13 songs. None of them made that. Only song was My Own Way.
Okay.
Everything else got scratched. And I just rewrote. And like, I lost some sessions. I had to re-record, rewrite. I was like, man, I'm gonna put it out when I feel like I know when it's like, when I feel it. And I started feeling it like around September, October. I was like, man, it's going down. But it was a lot. Harvey, it was a lot going on during this process, man. My mom got locked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, Harvey happened. Having my daughter. The experience between me and my son's mom. Like, it was just a lot going on.
Yeah.
I mean, if you listen to the album.
I'm about to say, because this is what I feel like people that are watching this would be like, yo, he's revealing a lot. But if you listen to your music, this is everything that you talk about in your song. I mean, you have whole songs where you talk about the relationship between you and your mother and what she's going through, the birth of your children, all this stuff. So you are very open.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I wish I wouldn't, but that's just how I am in general, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I wear my heart on my shoulder. I don't want to all the time, man. What, you just put the bunny ears behind me?
Nah, he just gave thumbs up.
I was gonna say, you trash, man.
I'm not a girl.
What's you got a favorite song?
Essay.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I like that essay.
Yeah.
Now, is he gonna get in the rap?
I don't know, man. Like,
Oh, wait, he's right here. Are you gonna get in the rap?
Probably not.
Probably not.
if that's what he wanted to do, I probably would require him to learn an instrument or something like that, and teach him how to record. And
Do you play any instruments?
not technically, I played the violin when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean, I know some keys, but I ain't. I'm a songwriter, man. Like, that's my instrument, man. Is the pen and my voice. Yeah. So that's how I feel.
Now, what's the future holding right now? Like, what are your plans on? What do you feel like you need to have coming out?
As long as I'm healthy, man, I'ma just keep recording. I'm learning this digital age a little more now, how to work their algorithms. So hopefully, like, when I re-release this Galactic Vision, I'm dropping this deluxe edition with a comic book. Hopefully, you'll see my streaming numbers rise, and more people will get more attention to it. But if not, I'm gonna just drop more music. I'm not really tripping anymore. I done seen too many people become successful.
Yeah.
And y'all don't really know who they are.
Yeah.
Like, the day and age of being a $50,000-$60,000 a year rapper is upon us, and I'm like, I need that.
Yeah.
Shit, if I had a $50,000-$60,000 a year job, everybody in my family would be, oh, Robert, you got a good job. You're doing well for yourself. Look, Robert, he work at the post office. He making $50,000 a year. So shit, if I'm making that rapping,
Doing something you want
what
to do?
you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
What you mean? To me, that's ideal, man. I can take care of my kids, and I don't have to always like be away from them. Like, yeah, that's it. And then going into like some like visual endeavors, man, like documentaries, maybe even book writing.
Okay.
But like filmmaking is kind of something that I'm starting to get the bug for, man. Like writing, telling them kind of stories.
I mean, because I would say a lot of things are changing. I just saw a clip with Jazzy Jeff where he was just talking about how things are back in the hands of the artists.
Yeah.
Where he was like, before you had to talk to a record company, you had to do this. He was like, now you can write a song, you can release a song, you can let your fans know the song's coming out, you can tell them exactly where to buy it from, you can sell them the song, you can sell them merchandise. And he's like, you can do that all from your phone. And so he's like, it's just a kind of new day and age. So, that's just one of those big things where I'm like, hopefully this time around, like you said, you're re-releasing projects and things like that.
We just gonna see how it go, man, because at this stage, man, it's so finicky. If you got the right kind of record, man, maybe you can jump. If you don't got that record, it's like, man, what you gonna do? You gotta work the fans one by one, man. You gotta like get to know people.
That's
like
true.
you gotta open up like your story, you know what I'm saying? Letting people know what's going on, so people will feel like, man, I ain't just buying music, man. I'm supporting like somebody that I believe in general, man.
Yeah.
People still buy music. They just don't buy it the way we did when we were younger because we only had that way to consume music.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't buy it, where you gonna get it from? You can't go streaming somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
We couldn't even see the artist all the time. Like I didn't know nothing about Ice Cube. I just knew.
You knew that music.
Yeah, like Boondock said, I just knew he would murder me. That was pretty much what I knew. And I was like, I like Ice Cube. But now it's like, I mean, like I agree with you. There's a social media presence. I mean, added to you have to be out there all the time with the social media presence. We just saw what happened to Cardi B.
Yeah.
Not saying that's a bad record. Just saying all those records sound like another record.
Yeah.
But hey,
I mean,
that's what happened.
it's like I caught on to the Twitter trend kind of early. I wish I had caught on a little earlier. But like, I'm not against social media.
Nah,
That shit can help me way more than it hurt me.
It can.
You know what I'm saying? It didn't help way more than it hurt. And a lot of people that spend money for me, I met them strictly on social media.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I might not even physically know them. Son, come on, man, chill out.
We should have got him a chair. It's funny because, like, we were talking about this. We usually set up, we go, like, dive into the Instagram and stuff. Like, Rob is a family man. Like, you go look on his Instagram, we had to scroll for weeks just to get to songs.
Yeah, nah, I mean,
Like,
they
it's
on
all
there.
pictures of you and your sister.
Yeah, before I put the album up there, my bio used to say music and family and other
Yes. Yeah. Like, I mean, this is from the birthday party.
shit. Yeah, well, that wasn't even, I really ain't even post birthday party pictures. Them right there, we took them on the day of her birthday.
Oh, man.
Yeah, nah, I do that because, like, my family in East Texas and all that, man, they don't get to see my kids mainly. So it's like, through this, they get a chance to see my kids. And, like, friends and stuff. I don't really live, like, no compelling life. Maybe if I was, like, doing more compelling stuff, like, my life is essentially, like, rap music. And them, man, being sick, y'all want me to post up when I'm sick?
Nah,
I don't think nobody want to see that.
Yeah, I don't think that.
I don't think
But I
nobody.
mean, it does. I like the way that it comes across in the music because everything is very, very open. You know what I mean? Like, you'll talk about sickness, you pretty much just talk about everything in the music, and it's really personal.
That's just how it worked, man.
Yeah.
Like, this what I learned early on is sound better. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
In my mind, if it didn't sound good to rap about, like, who I am, I wouldn't rap about it. I would rap about whatever sounds best.
Yeah.
But the way I hear music, I hear it like when you open and you honest. That's what work best, man. Like, across all genres, man. I try to study music. I be listening to Pink Floyd a lot, like that Dark Side of the
I
Moon.
listen to a lot of
That's like
Floyd,
one of
too.
my favorite albums of all
Bass
time.
lines, yeah.
Man, it's crazy.
I
And that was
know.
in like 72,
Yeah.
man. Like, sonically, that might be the best album ever made.
It's one of the best albums. I can't argue that.
Is the mixing on that,
Yeah.
like, for 71, 72?
That's my favorite era of rock, but I understand.
But I try to figure out what's coming with Pink Floyd and Kendrick Lamar. What's coming with, if my favorite singer is Donny Hathaway, what's similar to him and DMX? You know what I'm saying? It's they honesty.
Yeah.
It ain't like, nah, they skill set is vastly different. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But it's they honesty.
Yeah.
So like if I could be honest in my music and just talk about what it is that I'm really living, like my experiences, shit, and I can make that jam, man. I come up around family that we just listen to music, so I know what jam, man. Like I don't want to be the rapper that's why I'm opposed to being called lyrical.
Yeah, you want to be cannabis.
Nah, cause I'm not cannabis.
None of that stuff.
Nah,
jam,
man,
cannabis.
you hear my music, man. I like to rap
Have
for
a
the
good
women
beat,
too. You
of
know,
course.
I'm the beats. We gonna be
Yeah.
jamming. I want some grooves on there.
Yeah.
I don't want all my shit to be boom, ba boom,
Yeah.
just all boom bap. Nah, I want some, some player. I'm a Southside nigga, man. We
Understand.
groove. So how can I put that and still like tell these stories and these experiences that I've been through? This new album, it gave me an opportunity to be creative. Like you listen to old stuff, I don't have songs like Apartments.
No,
I don't have songs like My OG's Lied or like even Crawfish and Beyonce. Like my shit was just direct. Like this one, man, we selling crack, nigga. Yeah, I try to make it sound good, but now it's like I write a song like Apartments. I could have easily just wrote a song. I'm from the Southwest. Let me be a little more creative. You know what I'm saying? I could tell the Southwest story without naming every street that we own. You know what I'm saying? Anybody could close their eyes and visualize that song. Like, you been in some wild apartments. You could relate to that. You know what I'm saying? The next song on there called The Plight. Like, that's
yeah.
That's a real song, man. That's all I can say. Like, it's a couple stories that I mashed up to make it relevant, but it ain't no lies in that song, man. Like, it ain't no lies in that song. I say that. Okay. And then that last song on the album, that was another one. I was like, should I put that one out?
So yeah, with that
Put your heart in
level
your
of
sleeve,
honesty,
yeah.
especially because you're alluding to things that are happening inside with family and things like that. I mean, even when you talk about like the relationship with your mother, these are still people that you have contact with
In your
so
life, around, yeah.
how do they take it?
Let me see who's on here live. My Aunt Terry's on there. She good. ATT.
ATT.
His mom.
He's very aware. He's very aware. It's not.
So
yeah.
his mom is like, nah, this is not.
Let me say this. She rock with me.
Uh-huh.
I might be too honest.
Okay.
That might be the issue.
Yeah.
But she always knew that, like, this what I do. My daughter mom, she's an artist, like a painter, so she kind of more understanding that this just my palette. You know what I'm saying? I got to get stuff out. But yeah, she didn't hear the last song on the album.
Okay. No wonder. All right.
Now, son's mom. See, if you hear the last line of the song, man, say that shit. It say, what it say? You know, something like my kid's mother are some great women. Although they'll probably hear this tape and have a song missing. Like, shit, that's the reality. Like, I knew when I wrote it, I was like, oh, because it's not even that I was dissing.
You just saying
If
your
anything,
side of the
I'm
story.
dissing myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anything, I'm not saying nothing negative about them, but it's like, I was like, is that too much? And then the story of the first verse, him being like it was a lot going on when I wrote that song. A homeboy of mine, I don't know if y'all heard about this last summer, a 10-month-old baby got killed. You know what I'm saying? Like right over there in my apartments.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And my little homie did it.
Man.
So he kind of fucked with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, this my nigga. He come by my house. He smoke with me. I try to talk to him about rap, whatever.
And that's what you rapping
And that's what I wrote. And then it was some shit that had happened. Like, with my son, I was tripping. A nigga had disrespected me on a level that I wasn't accustomed to. And my son was with me, and it's some shit I shouldn't have did. I ain't do it, but...
Yeah.
Like, again, this nigga here, man, I'm thankful for him. You feel me? Like,
He keep you in
Definitely
line.
has a personality. Definitely
that's
does.
my,
Yeah, it's younger you. Y'all look just alike.
Yeah, that's
It's
my
same
dude,
haircut.
but-
Exactly alike.
Yeah.
he just, like, I look at him like, that's me if I had been in like the right kind of environments. Maybe if like I ain't like you.
I'm about to say, yeah, he don't even want to rap. What you want to do?
Play basketball, be an engineer.
Play basketball and be an engineer. All right.
Yeah, do both.
Man, that's a good
yeah,
spot.
so
That
we
really
trying
is a
to-
good spot.
We trying to like raise up a generation
You
of
said
these.
be an
Like,
engineer.
ain't
That's
nothing
so
wrong
positive.
with rapping, man.
Yeah.
Like for me, my generation, that's what we had.
That's it. Yeah.
You feel me? Your
Yeah.
generation,
Do what they want to
what
do.
they want to
Yeah.
do.
Sky's
Like
the limit.
realistically, like and we could too, but we still was
Yeah.
kind of
We just didn't see
limited
it.
mindset.
Yeah.
They not gonna have no like him, my daughter, like my nieces and nephews. I just want them to know, man, that it ain't nothing's impossible, man.
That's true.
If you put in the work, and it's cliche, man, you be positive, man, you say what you mean, you do the right things, something gonna work out for you. You know what I'm saying? Like
That stuff.
it's something. That boy, he getting his jumper on. What's up, DA? I see you,
Well,
big bro.
that's a good spot to
Yeah.
leave it off on. We will definitely be interviewing again. Now, you got to get up. You got to let your son sit in the chair.
Well, you want to sit in the chair?
We'll let you sit in. We'll
Come
let you sit in the chair.
You do
That way, we'll leave
Hello.
it off on you because we know that you gonna want to take this when we put this up. You can show
Yeah,
all your
you can
friends.
show all
this,
your friends.
and that
Cool.
way you can be on YouTube.
You can show your friends in kindergarten.
Engineer,
Kindergarten.
Aren't you in kindergarten?
Third grade.
You ain't in kindergarten?
third grade,
Thought you was in kindergarten.
third
bro.
grade. You got to talk in the mic.
You're
No.
in kindergarten.
Third grade.
Okay,
What's
so
your favorite?
third grade.
What's your favorite subject?
Math
Math
and reading.
and reading.
Helps you to be an engineer.
All right, all
positive.
right. You got anything you want to say? How you feel about your dad as a rapper?
I think it's good.
You think he's good? Is he your favorite rapper?
I don't know.
Who's your favorite rapper? Who
I-
you don't know?
I really don't know.
Who do you listen to?
Whoever my mom puts on. Usually someone terrible, but
Wow. Wow. Just asking. So who does your mom put on? Who's your mom's favorite rapper?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't even know their names. You
That's
just don't
good.
keep up with it.
I don't even try to keep up with it.
Oh,
I
okay.
understand.
So but you listen to your dad's music.
Yep.
That's what you like.
That's
okay.
positive.
Okay, that's positive.
And that's his opinion.
That's your
Leaving this
opinion.
off
His humble opinion.
on his humble opinion. And we're going to sign off on another episode of In My Humble Opinion, a show about opinions that are humble. Because the opinion's humble. It's the subject.
There we go.
Yeah.
Object. It's the
That's
I'm
what
not
it's
smart.
called.
I don't
That's
know.
why it's called that.
That is why it's called that.
We'll let you take us out. Go ahead. Say whatever you want to say.
Bye-bye.
It's positive. It's positive.
I like that. I like that. When we get done with this, we'll send everything to you. It'll be in a few weeks, but you can let all